What's up? I'm your instructor, Eric Kirk, and welcome to class. As you know, I've had to split up the class into two groups. So for the group that doesn't come in, I'll be making videos like this that will fill you in on what we did in class. That way we will all be moving forward at the same pace. So if you are group A, then you will be watching these videos on Thursday. And if you are in group B, you'll be watching these videos on Tuesday. Make sense? I hope so. Let me know if you have any questions. As you know, we will be meeting in the Mars lab across from the library next to the elevator. There is no food and no drink here. We have access to the Mars lab. Every single one of you do by way of your student ID. You should be able to swipe and get in, but double check that your card works because sometimes it won't. Sometimes it's not activated. So if that's the case, you just need to go to public safety, let them know you're in this class, they'll look you up, and they should be able to activate it for you. You are free to use the Mars lab whenever classes aren't in session here. And I believe there's a schedule outside the door that will tell you when classes are scheduled. So you can plan ahead. The lab closes at 11 p.m. and has an 8-person limit due to the new COVID-19 precautions. So if it's full, you'll just have to come back when somebody leaves. It's kind of a first come, first serve basis. The college is requiring that we all disinfect our area before and after use, including the desk, computer, keyboard, and mouse, and chair. Monk wipes are available for use in all classrooms, as are gloves and paper towels. And it sounds like you were provided with some protective eyewear in your welcome kits, so feel free to bring those in if you so wish. The MARS, M-A-R-S, stands for Media Arts Research Studio. And all that really means is it's our main Mac lab on campus. It's full of iMacs, beefy machines that can handle large design software, particularly Adobe Creative Cloud programs, which in order to use, you need to activate your Adobe account. All students should have received their account activation email from Adobe last Friday. So look in your NVU email if you don't recall getting that email. See if it came in. Your Adobe ID will be your username at nvu.vsc.edu, and that's what you'll log in with. That's how you'll activate it. Once you do it once, you shouldn't have to do it again. But go into your email, find that activation email from Adobe, follow the instructions, and you should be good to go. If you can't find that email, let me know as soon as possible, and I will let IT know, and they'll hook you up. All right, so the next thing is the art server. The art server is kind of where this class lives. So in order to connect to a server, you need to go to Go Connect to Server. And this little window pops up. You're going to type in this address, smb://nvu/files/nvu-j-academic. It's a mouthful, but once you have it typed in, it should remember it. You can also add it to your favorite servers here, so you don't have to type that in every single time. You're just going to hit connect. It's going to connect and bring up a window that looks kind of like this. Ta-da! And basically, depending on what class you're in, you're going to be looking for either IDM Fall 20 or Advanced Digital Video Fall 20. These are the two courses I'm teaching this semester. Everything else you can ignore. It's either old or somebody else's class, which you may also be in. But for me, these are just the two folders you need to pay attention to. And those are the ones with the red dots. So they're both set up. The folder structure is basically the same. In the assignments folder is where you're going to hand in all major assignments. In the class folder, you're going to create your own folder. Right here, I've created my folder. You're going to create your own, and you're going to put your name on it, and that's where you can save all your work. And you can be rest assured that it's backed up, it's on a server, it's not on just the machine you're sitting in front of. You can access these files from any computer in the Mars lab. That way, if somebody is sitting where you normally sit when you come in at 10 o'clock at night, you can just go to a different one and still be able to access your files. And you're going to save your work in your folder, and that's where you can manage all of your homework. The next folder is the demos files. These are the project files for all the demos we're going to be doing in class. The next one is lecture notes. Sometimes I give little teachings, little previews into the programs and demos we're doing. Just give you a basic understanding. That way you're just a little more prepared before we dive into a specific concept. And they're just there for your reference if you want to go back and study it. And then we have another folder for quizzes, and this is where you'll be handing in your quizzes. I also have a copy of the syllabus for your reference should you need it. That's also on Canvas too. So that's kind of the folder setup. We will also be interacting with one another on Zoom as well in class for critiques. So these critique sessions are required, and I will host them during our class period. So I'll give you plenty of notice as well so that you can plan for that. I've also set up a Facebook group that I want you all to join. This is also required, and I will be requiring that you post certain assignments there as part of your homework. So be sure you do join this group. I left the link in the announcements and in the syllabus section on Canvas. So be sure you join that group, and as your first homework assignment, I want you to post to the group who you are and what you're most excited about for this course. Okay, so by now you should have been able to activate your Adobe account, and just as a reminder, you should have received an email in your NVU email from Adobe saying activate your account, and what you need to do is just kind of follow that link, and so that when it is activated, you can open up Photoshop, which looks like this down here at the bottom of the screen. We have PS, it's in blue. When you hover over it in the dock for those non-Mac users, you can see the official title kind of pop up there on top. It says Adobe Photoshop 2020. That is the most recent version. And what you do is you just click on it and it opens the app. If you don't see it in this stripe of apps, it's called the dock. You can find it under what's called the Launchpad, is this little rocket ship here. If you click that, you can click on these dots to see all the apps that are on the computer. And what you want to do is you want to look for Photoshop, and that is right here. I'm going to click that, and it opens it up. And I already have a project opened up for this particular demonstration, just to kind of show you the different pieces of the interface here in Photoshop. So in the main window is our actual artwork, and this is where we basically create our artwork. And on the left here we have what's called the toolbar or the toolbox, and it houses all of our tools that attaches itself to the cursor. Over here we have another series of panels that house different things like color. Down here we have the layers palette, and this is a panel that helps you navigate through the different pieces of your art. As you can see, I have some different layers that are labeled. This particular one, man copy, it's not currently on, but if I click and drag it to the top and I turn it on, you can see the original image we've been working with. And so, I can bring it down underneath each layer, and you can kind of see what happens when it's underneath a series of images, and then when I turn it off entirely, you can see how it interacts with the different layers. And I try to explain this in if you think of layers as like a pile of paper, you know, and each paper is maybe a different size or different things are cut out in the paper. You can see what's underneath it. That's kind of how the layers palette works. Anything that's on top is the most visible, and then it just works down chronologically like that. Over here we have a series of tools. Tools are kind of broken down into more or less 2 to 3 types. We have what are called the selection tools, and these are tools that are meant to select different portions of your image. Then we have tools that are brush based. So while you may not be painting with color all the time, you may also be painting with other pixels. You may be painting blurriness. You may be painting sharpness, and any one of these you can click on, and that will activate them. That will attach them to your cursor. And with a lot of these, you have these tiny little triangles at the bottom right corner, and that means that there's actually more inside of that tool. So if you click and hold, it'll open up a series of other tools inside of that tool, and we call these drawers. So it's kind of like the eraser drawer, and you can find the different kinds of erasers in that particular tool. This is the stamp drawer. You know, you have the clone stamp tool and the pattern stamp tool. They're similar tools, but they do slightly different things. So they're kind of categorized in that way. You have lots of different brushes, lots of different selection tools, and that sort of thing. Then we have our color swatches, so that we can choose what color we want to paint with or what color we want to fill with. And then we have a series of navigation tools. So like the zoom tool, you can click that, and you know, the more you click, the closer you get. If you hold down Option, you can move backwards, zoom out, or with this tool in hand, you can just simply scroll while holding down Option. So I'm just scrolling on my mouse now. In the Mars Lab, you have that little wheel on the mouse. When you're holding down Option, you can actually zoom in and out like that. So that's kind of the basic interface of Photoshop. Come next class, we'll actually get in there and start moving things around, but I wanted to just give you a real quick preview of what Photoshop looks like when you open it and what it looks like with actual content in there. Okay, so next class we're going to start exploring some of these tools and then actually kind of get in there with a demo. All right, see you then.